to the Shaun Squad Society Podcast, the podcast for all of us teeny boppers who were head over heels in love with our teen dream, Shaun Cassidy. So come along with us on this journey to share the stories that helped us create the Shaun Squad Society Podcast with your hosts, myself, Penny,
Dame Madonna,
Cindy,
and Doris.
Celebrate, don't you think? We should celebrate good times. Come on. What are we doing? Just hanging out here today or what? I mean, and you know what? The weather this week.
Oh gosh.
Oh, my
Crazy
God.
weather in the Midwest. We've never been to 100, I think, for a while.
Oh my God, probably 2 years?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let's get down to business. I mean, we do have a lot to celebrate. We have so much to celebrate. I mean, today is our 10th episode.
Woo.
Wow.
Our first season in 10 episodes.
That's a milestone.
It's a milestone.
Congratulations, ladies.
I mean, who would have
That's a dream.
thought? Who would have thought when we met? We met, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? What was it? This week? Was it August?
Yeah.
It was
Sean's cancer's in August.
August 29th.
It was
Today's
like
the 25th.
now.
Like
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Yeah. The Shaun Squad grew.
Yes.
Well, we weren't the Shaun Squad yet.
Not yet.
Well,
we were getting there.
We were getting there because
We knew we were.
the three of us were actually texting or talking.
Well,
And-
Cindy and I didn't even know you, Penny.
Well,
Cindy and I texted and talked.
Not yet.
And we got to talking about getting together, and then you came along like a song. You know,
I came along like a song.
We met her at the Sean show. She was going to pick us up at the hotel.
Well, I waited. I actually stayed at the city winery because I was scared to leave, thinking I might get just a glimpse of Shaun, or maybe
idea.
he'd brisk by and I could smell that. Gee, your hair smells terrific.
Oh, yeah.
Or something. But
That's the day we got our glimpse in the earlier part of the day.
that was the day when we got our pre show glimpse of Sean
Yeah, pre-show
walking
glimpse.
down the street.
Yes.
Oh, my
Yes,
God.
Cindy, I
He
knew
was nice.
right away that when you and I were like texting and stuff, and when I saw you, I think it was on Jill's page, I was like, hey, that girl would be a good friend. And then we just started texting and talking, and it grew. That was fun.
Yeah, we all
It's
kind of
good.
gradually got together.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, but we have a lot to celebrate. We have some numbers to talk about, but the biggest thing we have to celebrate is we are worldwide. Worldwide.
You mean like the whole wide world?
The whole wide world.
Right in our hands.
Yeah, we have the whole
world.
wide world.
In
Come
our
on.
hands, we got the
The
whole
whole
world. In our hands.
We got the whole wide world in our
In
hands.
his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Thank you. And if you guys want to hire a Dame, I am her manager. You all know where to reach me. But anyway, I just have to throw this out there. We have people in the United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, Canada. You know,
It's really spreading.
it's spreading.
Mhm.
Did you say earlier Japan? Or
Yes.
no? Japan.
Japan.
Down
I know.
during COVID.
Yes.
And
And then Rhonda in Hawaii, isn't it? Rhonda in
Yes.
Hawaii. And
yes.
who else? Cindy and Doris that we were talking about earlier.
We just have followers all
In other countries, you
over.
mean?
In other countries or even other states. I mean, we got
Oh, they're all
Jill
over. Ohio.
and we have,
Danny's producers, Waldo and Paul from Seattle.
yes. I mean, Cindy, you had a list. We wanted to throw out some names of our loyal listeners and all over the United States.
Got to give a shout out to Beth Ann.
Oh, yes, Beth Ann in
Yes.
Kentucky. I mean,
She's
Say
fun.
thank you.
you know, and Janet and Marilyn and
Yes.
and all, but you know, not only all over the United States, but all over the world. I mean, we can't let this wait till later. The shout outs we've had.
You want to hear the
That's
comments? I
shout-outs.
got some comments to tell you about.
We'll let the shout outs wait for a second until we hear the comments.
All right, so the comments we have seen so far, Beth Ann says she called the Rob Lowe line. We had an episode on Rob Lowe.
Oh, hey guys, listen, this is such an important campaign because Rob interviews some of the most wonderful people and does a great interview. And to my knowledge, he has not interviewed Shaun. So the campaign is to get Shaun on Rob's podcast. The podcast is called Literally. And if you call the Lowdown line, that's the campaign, is to get just as many people as we can to call Lowdown line and just say, hey, we want you to interview Shaun Cassidy.
And he interviews teen idols, right?
Oh, and if you stand by while Cindy talks about a few people, we will get the phone number for you again.
Yeah.
And
we'll put that out.
And put it back out for you, okay?
All right. But Beth Ann said, you all are too fun. What a fun podcast. And then Shirley Werner mentioned that music helped her through a lot and saved her life. She says, thank you for doing this. It's so much fun to reflect on parts of the time of my life, which we're all doing.
Yeah.
We're all reflecting on that fun time.
Yes.
So we're bringing people along with us to do that.
Hey, Cindy, real quick. Haley, our good friend Haley,
People in the United Kingdom.
said, great podcast. I'm learning a lot from you guys. So she loves those little tidbit of information that we give.
And I think we're learning too, aren't we? Like sometimes when we
Yes.
look into an episode, we're learning something too that maybe we didn't know back then.
Most definitely. I mean, there's so many things that we look up, and when we're doing our research for an episode,
It's a total rewind.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
I'm like, I had no clue.
Backtracking.
Yes.
and learning.
Like back to characters or back to the dark side of Shaun.
Yeah.
I had no
That
clue.
was a learning experience for most of
all
you
of
guys.
us and a lot of our listeners. We're going to go back to the Rob Lowe.
Yeah, what's the Rob
Lowdown.
Lowe line?
Okay.
Low down.
The Lowdown. Okay. Get your pen and paper. Here it is. 323-570-4551. And make sure you tell Rob you heard it from the Shaun Squad Society Podcast, and we started a campaign, and we would like very much for him to interview Shaun Cassidy. It's as simple as that, because he has a long list of superstars that he interviews.
He just interviewed Rick Springfield.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
fun.
Yes, that was a lot of fun. And you know what? It was actually a really good one.
It was.
But one of my favorites is when he interviewed his wife on their anniversary. Oh my God, it was so
I
sweet.
didn't hear that one.
Oh, yeah. It was really good. So if you don't listen to Literally, you must. It's probably one of my favorite podcasts next to the Shaun Squad Society Podcast.
And then I have another comment here too from Lori Goodman. She says, enjoying the podcast, keep having a ball doing what you're doing because it comes across to the listeners. I'm glad to know that.
Thank you,
know,
Lori.
I
Thank
always
you,
love the
Lori.
feedback.
Oh, yes.
That's a lot of fun to know that they're listening and they enjoy what we're doing. And that's what we're here for, to kind of include all the fans in what we're reminiscing about.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely.
And then Beth Ann also said, I so love you are doing this. I am so proud of you for. So she's really happy for us.
She is. It actually sounds like we have a lot of loyal fans, and a lot of them are really, really happy for us.
But, we wouldn't be here without the listeners.
So here's what we've got to say to our listeners. Thank you from
Thank
the
you.
bottom of our Teen Dream hearts.
This has been so much fun, and we never did this before. And look how far we've come.
Hey, I listened to episode 1 today, and I wish I didn't.
We have
Well, that
grown.
one's funny.
Oh.
Jenny, that first one's hilarious.
Oh, no,
because I
it's
didn't
not.
know-
It is not.
Yeah, I didn't know that we were going to even do one. I was in Eureka Springs, and I had to ask the store owner if I could go back in her closet.
Is that
And
the
that's what I
one
did.
game where you were in the closet? And
I was in the closet, and we were all talking about Ryan's name, and you said Agor or something instead of his,
No,
his last
Eckold.
name.
It was Eckold.
Eggold. Okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
she said,
isn't it
yeah,
Eckold?
that was funny when.
Yeah.
Well, she said it wrong the first time, like Ryan Agor or something.
I
instead of
did.
Eggold.
Yeah. I don't know.
That was a cute part.
But I didn't realize that was the very first episode,
That
Dame,
was.
that you were actually literally doing
In the
the
closet.
episode from Dame's closet.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
I got myself out first.
And that's before we even started Dame's Closet. That is,
I made room to come
funny.
out of it.
yeah.
But to Dame's point, we have come such a far
Oh, my
way
God.
from there.
So
I
far.
mean, we started out really kind of I'm going to say it. We fell bass backwards all into this.
We did.
We did. We didn't really have a clue how to do it. We just
But we had a focus.
bumbled it.
We had a
Yes.
focus.
And you could hear every episode, which it should be. We get just that much more comfortable and that much better.
And this is basically an extension of social media.
Yes.
This is an audio. You can hear us talking. It's a great conversation. We're not just typing
Right.
like the other ones.
Well,
Just another extension of that.
remember when we first started Googling how to start a podcast?
Yes.
I mean, it was all you need is your Apple phone or a cell phone and a microphone, and it's that easy.
No,
And
it's
the-
harder. Yeah.
And then we started looking into it and we're like, whoa, wait.
Yeah.
And then we realized it's not that easy.
A lot to learn.
Yeah, there was a lot to learn, a lot more expenses into it.
And we do
You
this
know-
all ourselves. We produce it. We edit it. We put it all out ourselves.
Yeah, we don't hire anybody to do our work.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty much a full-time job for each of us on top of our full-time jobs.
And then you have to, when you do a podcast or anything, you really have to promote it. And the way to promote it is with social. So that social media posts, the two that we do each week right now, take a lot of time. But looking back, because that's what we're doing today, we're looking back and seeing how we progressed. We have come so far from our first social media post.
Yes.
If you guys remember our first post and then you look today at some of our posts, I think we get quite creative and very, like energetic.
Yes.
They really, I think, attract the listeners more.
Yes, we're comfortable.
Yeah.
And there's been no other podcast like this.
Never.
A Shaun Cassidy
Because we did that research.
dedicated podcast.
Yes. And I like the feedback. We've gone from our story to, having Janet on, and which I really liked having her on right after our story.
Now, we have to let the listeners know who Janet is because everyone knows,
Well, Janet Connell,
right?
she is the one who created the Shaun Cassidy Fan Convention Facebook page. And she is the one who Cindy, Doris, and I were members of. And that's how the three of us met.
That's our connection.
That's our connection.
Correct.
And so with that, how we connected, we just thought it was fitting to have her be the part 2 of our story. Isn't it? Because,
Yes.
to finish off our story. Is that correct,
Penny?
ladies?
Penny, the second one that we did with Janet, I thought it was pretty cool. Speaking of expenses, I actually flew all the way from Oklahoma to be with you girls and do the one with Janet.
Yes.
That's right, Dame. You were actually here in Chicago in the Borton Studios.
And that was really
for that
was really
episode.
cool because I got to be right there with you instead of being out here in Oklahoma.
Right. And that was the weekend we drove to Ohio to
Yes.
Yep.
Sean's concert. Yes.
That was our first road trip together, I think.
Yes.
Because Cindy and I had made a road trip. We did a Thelma and
Tennessee.
Louise road trip.
We saw him in
Right.
Franklin
Yeah.
Yes.
a year or two ago,
Yeah.
right?
But when we went to Nashville, did you guys drive together to Nashville or
No,
no?
we
Because we
flew.
all, like Terry and I drove to Nashville, but then we all met at the City Winery in Nashville. Yeah. Yes.
What about the Ohio one where we were halfway home and then we realized we had to turn around?
We have
Oh.
to reflect on that.
Yes.
Thank you, Dame.
Yes.
So here we are in Kent, Ohio, doing, first of all, a whirlwind tour. It's like leave at 5 a.m. and come back at 5 a.m. the very next
Oh,
day.
that was a quick 24-hour turnaround.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of turnaround,
we did that, and it turned out quite nicely until we got halfway home. And what
Oh, we
happened,
weren't
Dame?
halfway home. It was 2 hours in, but it felt
Okay,
like
a quarter
halfway
away
home.
home. What
We were
happened?
tired.
What happened, Dame? What did we realize?
Well, Penny realized
like-
it.
Yeah.
Penny started realizing, I think we left a bag.
She's looking for the microphone or
Well, I wanted to plug
The
in. I
recorder.
wanted to listen to the interviews I did when we were interviewing people waiting to, see Shaun, and while they were in line, I was doing interviews because we were promoting our podcast. And so I thought, while we're driving, I'll listen to the interviews. And so I rushed back to get our bag so I could listen to the interviews. And we're like, Where's the bag? Where's the bag? And Cindy, pull over. It's like we're all frantic. And that's
Cindy's like,
exactly,
really?
exactly. That's yeah.
Illegal U-turns.
It's right. And then we realized, oh my God. But luckily, we did call the hotel and they agreed to mail it to us. And we got it, within 4 days?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It came, and shout out to the Marriott
Yes.
for that. They really did a great
Yeah.
job of packing it up and mailing it back to us.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like panic when you're in the car driving and you realize you left the most important thing that you need
Is your
At the hotel.
is your equipment, and probably the most expensive part you took with you.
Right.
Your
And
equipment.
all of our equipment together. It wasn't just one person's. It was everybody's.
equipment.
In one
yeah.
bag.
in one
And poor
bag.
Penny was trying to get to work on time.
Well,
That's
we
why
all
we were
were.
early.
I was
'cause-
trying to get
yeah.
home
Yeah, we had
to work.
deadlines. We had to
yeah,
go.
Yeah, we had deadlines. We had to go for sure.
But we did it, and I'm telling you, I never seen anybody turn a Yui on the interstate that quick.
Well, let me tell you, Cindy had us on two wheels a few times.
Yeah.
I mean,
This
seriously.
rental car was.
Yeah. But, not only, all of that, but, our meetings, our weekly meetings and all of our
Oh,
phone calls
thank
and all of
goodness.
our
There's a lot that goes
texts.
into it.
There is a lot to go into it. And, agreeing on what our next episode was going to be, trying to, what is going to capture our listeners' attentions.
And we would welcome ideas too.
Yeah,
from the listener.
Yeah, please.
Let us know what you want to hear in the future.
Yeah, because, we're going to be taking a short break, but that does not mean we're not
Right.
going to be working. We are going to be working and we're going to be recording.
And what's our
And-
email?
Shaun Squad Society at gmail.com.
So
Yes.
send us all your
Ideas.
Yeah.
All your ideas. We're open to anything. I mean, we already have our list, but we may miss something that you want to hear. So, when we discuss ideas of like we did the concerts or we did the albums and the album covers, it's not something like, we have an album today. Let's talk about it. That's not how it goes. There's lots of hours that go into each episode, and who's going to research this and who's going to do that. And,
right.
what song do we want to talk about or what song do we want to play? And some of these are easier than others.
What stories do you want to tell? Like the
Yeah.
concerts. I was there. It was exciting, and
Right.
I just wanted to relive that again.
Right.
And now we get to go to other concerts. Now we get to go to new concerts.
Right. And the characters, that was a little bit tougher.
There's so many, and you have
Right.
to narrow this down.
Yeah. And I will
didn't see
tell
some
you.
of them. Some
right.
of them I never saw before.
Right.
So that
And-
was new for me.
And some of them we had to watch a couple of times.
Yes.
And I will tell you, I am going to do characters part 2. And several of you even mentioned in comments, you forgot, Emerald, you forgot Roar, you forgot Roots.
We didn't forget any of those more darker episodes. It was just we can't cover all of them.
right.
Right.
We had to choose.
Yes.
For now.
Yes. And so they will be mentioned in season 2.
Because we did get comments of people saying, what about this one? What about this one? Yes,
Right.
we didn't forget.
Yes, they will be mentioned.
They
So
will.
please, and we were really kind of surprised that we didn't hear as much from our listeners as we really wanted to, or thought we would, I should say. So we really want you guys to blow up our social media and our email starting now. But we need interaction. We need comments and interactions and
We invite all of our followers to please interact with us on
Yeah.
social media. You can find us at Shaun Squad Society Podcast on Instagram, Threads, and Facebook.
Yes.
Interact, comment,
Yes.
let us know your thoughts on an episode. Follow us, please, and interact at all of our social media. Shaun Squad Society Podcast. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads.
And
send us an email, ShaunSquadSociety@gmail.com.
for right now, I think we're going to go through each episode. And, we may talk about how much we liked it, how much we didn't, and which one was our favorite. We all have a favorite. So right now we're going to talk about our first episode, our story. Well, I already mentioned that one. I don't know. Nobody, I can't even tell you a single podcaster out there who's going to say their first podcast was their best.
Oh,
Or their favorite.
Or their favorite. So we can just maybe skip right over that. What do you guys think? Hey, but we learned from it,
We learned.
we have to start somewhere.
right?
We learned. a
Yeah,
lot.
and we talked about how we were celebrating, the 42 years that he had been gone.
That's an
So that was kinda
upside.
cool.
to
That's
it.
an upside.
That's
yeah.
great, Dame, that you saw that. Yeah. I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. I couldn't bring myself to listen.
Well,
I haven't
I I did listen to it only because I have something at the end of the episode or, at the show today. So I had to listen to it. But then again, we kind of brought episode 2 in and brought Janet Connell in, to kind of finish to tell her story. And I really liked that one a lot because she talked about why she started her fan page and talked about her fundraising and talked about her time in Hawaii and giving Shaun the autographed shirt.
She eloquently told her story of what really touched her and brought her to start that Facebook group and what it meant to her to find all of these people with the same common thread and put them together. Because she, like she said, she thought about the Monkees and her Backstreet Boys. And she said, well, what about Shaun Cassidy? And
Yeah, what about him?
Yeah.
she didn't just say it, she did it.
Yes.
Did it?
Yeah. Well, I like what she did with the cards. I thought that was really nice for Valentine's.
Right.
And
The card
I
exchange.
remember,
yeah.
yes,
Or
receiving
secret
one,
card.
Right.
and it really brought us all together. More friends together,
Right.
and that was really neat that she thought that about that, and then she, put it down into her group, and we were able to.
For her to discuss
friends.
that in her, I call it Janet's episode. Because
Yeah.
that's exactly what
Well,
it is.
yeah, it was Janet's episode, and I'm very proud of her.
And she wanted to do the card thing because she said everybody needs a friend.
Everybody needs a friend. And
Everyone
I love
needs
it.
a Valentine.
Yep.
I like how she said, even with Facebook, not only would the cards bring us together, but Facebook would keep us together as a group. She talked about her group having, like the time, even when they all signed their shirt in Hawaii, and then he held that up. I mean, that was special.
That was a
as
proud
group.
moment for her.
Right. Yes. That's what I was just saying. But then our next one was concerts. Concerts then and now.
Oh, so
That-
fun.
Oh my, so fun. We had.
That was our groundbreaking episode.
It was. Oh my.
A lot of
That.
listeners with that.
Oh my
And
God.
go back and listen to it. It's
Oh,
still there.
It's still there. But Cindy, how many? One of you guys were talking about that earlier. How many? That was like our biggest hit. That
Oh,
was
yeah,
our.
yeah, lots of people
I
on
think
there.
it was watched by over 1,000
Yeah,
hits
yeah,
so far.
yeah, that was
1,000.
huge for us.
Mhm.
I mean, literally, I cried when I heard it. I was so
That-
proud of it.
The reason, I'm going to tell you why I like concerts the best. Not the best, but it was our groundbreaking and why it means so much to me. We had started, and I don't know that we had our groove. We just didn't have our groove together.
Not yet.
And concerts, we did concerts, and we all love our concerts, and we know what those concerts meant to us. And I'm going to give praise to Cindy here. I think, Cindy, this was the first one. You did some excellent editing. And you put those sound bites in there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, when you did the sound bite of the woman doing the interview.
Oh, I love that interview.
Oh, we had so much fun doing that, didn't we,
that gave
Cindy?
me goosebumps. And that's why I love the concerts episode.
That was
Oh my
fun.
God,
Because it
that was
the
fun.
First one that we had some great editing.
And when I saw
mean,
that clip of the lady, she's standing in the auditorium, and it brought me back to that day. All
Yeah.
the kids were in their seats, all excited, but they had the lights on and the music was playing. This was before the concert, but oh my gosh, my heart just dropped.
Yeah.
but
I
concerts,
remember all that.
concerts had some excellent editing. That's when we said, okay, we're here.
Okay.
Here we are.
We know what we're doing.
Was that the one I was at your house helping you with?
I think it was the next one.
Okay, the next one, because
Yeah.
oh my God, that one was
Well, you
No,
helped
it
me
was-
with the interview,
it was-
the
yeah.
Monsters Part 2.
yeah.
With the interviews.
Oh, the interviews.
Well,
okay.
guys, with the interviews, I thought was really interesting was when we went up to, well, Penny did. I could just picture Penny going around with the microphone and asking questions to different people. And she did exactly like I thought she would. She's very outgoing.
She did a great job with
amazing.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then remember, I thought it was funny that she went up to one guy to ask him about Shaun's music. And he said, no, he was there because he liked the Hardy Boys. Remember that Jim from Ohio?
Yeah.
We
I
should
thought that
try to
was
find
cute.
Jim from Ohio.
Yeah, we should. I wish we could find them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we found Beth and we had to interview her too. She's pretty funny.
Well, so concerts is going to be near and dear to all of us.
That was,
And I didn't even tell everything about the concerts. I went to Chicago, what was it, Universal
International
Amphitheater. I get it wrong.
Yeah.
Then I went to Navy Pier. Then I went to Alpine Valley in Wisconsin.
That's about it.
I think it was 4. Yeah, 4. I'm trying to think of you somewhere else.
You girls get around it.
But back then, you didn't think about traveling to another state, though, to go to another concert. You always thought about just staying home.
Yeah.
Right.
And letting the concert come to you. But now we're like, hey, we're going to go to Ohio.
Now
Right,
we're following them.
We're going to another one.
Tennessee.
All 8 of mine have been all over the place.
Yeah.
And speaking of concerts then and now, well, the ones now are just amazing to me because I never thought that would happen where I would get to do what you girls did years ago. And I was sitting there and I saw him walk out from the curtains and he's playing his guitar. And it just meant so much. So it's so nice that he's doing concerts now too.
Well, the first time you see him, you do get that like awe feeling, like I
Yeah.
can't believe that's him
Yeah.
up on
We're
stage.
like, I can die now.
Yeah.
You had
Your moment, definitely. But
Yes.
concerts part 2, that was a lot of fun. And doing the interviews we did it in Kent.
And we never did that before either.
We never, because we were there actually to
promote
and so when we went over to the Buffalo Wild Wings because it was raining and we were walking around table to table, that was fun. But I'm going to tell you, the best part is when I and Beth Ann pretended we were doing red carpet. That was a hoot.
She loved that. She mentioned it in one of her comments.
Yeah,
too. Thank you
that
for the
was-
red carpet.
Yeah, the red carpet interview.
And that's when she talked about her shirt and how special that was. 'Cause it had the heart on it.
Yeah, that was really cute. But then another favorite was albums. You know, talking about every album cover and all the songs. Doris, I see a smile on your face.
And we still have the albums.
That must be a favorite one of yours.
Well, no.
No?
But it has a special place because I can picture all of the albums. And like I said, when we first did that episode, everyone think of the Shaun Cassidy album. Okay. It had a kind of kindergarten. Even he mentioned this in an interview recently that album was geared to promote young minds.
The first one?
Shaun Cassidy, yes. The primary green and
Preteen?
yellow. And, yeah, he said...
The primary colors.
He was talking on the Phil Rosenthal and David Wild podcast, and he said, yeah, that album, I think they were trying to get young people. And it's because, look at it. Look at the way that album is designed. And then picture years later, Wasp. You can see how he grew with each album. That album, that's why albums mean a lot to me, because I look at each of those covers and I'm like, you can see how Shaun grew with each album.
Well, you know, and the lady that speaks in one of the, which one was it, concerts, when she interviews Shaun, and Shaun speaks like, you have to relate to these kids. You can't fool them. They
know what's going on, he said. Yeah.
And I think he knew that. I mean, he obviously knew that. And that's how he did his albums.
Yeah.
And he kind of grew with that.
Yes.
I think he respected us,
Yes,
you know?
he did.
His
Well,
fans.
he did.
He says he doesn't take it lightly.
Yeah.
He
Which
doesn't
is
take it
so
lightly.
cool.
Yeah, the albums one was neat. And Penny, can I say something about the albums that I thought was really cool, that podcast that we did? First of all, we talked about, you know, how Born Late goes with the way Shaun thinks about how he was born late because he related to so many of the songs from earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought when we did that episode, you girls were hilarious about the one looking out the window and we're trying to figure out who the other person was.
Oh, then we
And
found
Penny
out who that girl was.
Yes.
Well, Penny thought it was him. I said that, no, it's me. And somebody else said, no, it's just one of the girls that was there in the hotel or something, and you guys found out who it was.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a-
So
I
this is the room service album.
right.
Yes. I thought it was a mirror and it was a reflection, of
Of him.
him looking in, looking out. You know how sometimes you get a
Yeah.
mirror that does that. That's what I thought it was.
And I
But-
thought it was me.
But here is the real story. Who knows the real story?
Yeah, apparently this girl went to a dance with Shaun at school. She was a model, and
Yes.
she got put in this picture.
Yes.
Shaun went on a date with her
Yes.
way back when.
Way back when.
Not at that
so that's
time.
cool. So that's who left the lipstick on the
No,
cup.
we did.
Oh, I don't know.
No, that we don't know that.
No,
we
we don't.
just know who the girl was.
It's a girl, and Shaun knows her from school.
Oh,
Yes,
who
that's all
left-
we know.
left the lipstick on the
Well,
cup?
they didn't tell us that.
But
All right.
I think what Dame is saying is the album cover tells a story.
Yes.
So the girl looking in the window is the girl who eventually gets into the room and leaves the lipstick.
Maybe.
And that girl in real life was a friend of Shaun's, who he
Now we
knew
know.
from high school or whatever.
Right.
And girls, when we did the one with the albums, I thought it was really cool that I had my album sitting there too, and I didn't realize that there were posters and books in some of them because
Oh, yeah.
Right.
we've been using other type of media to listen to his music, and so it was like Christmas for us. We
Right.
were all opening
That
these
was
together.
fun.
We all found a
We were
poster in there.
excited.
Right.
I went home and I opened up Live and I'm like, there it is.
There it
That's
is.
That book that we all discovered that day was inside of Live.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a concert book.
Because a lot of people that have that album are missing
Now
that
the
part.
girls will know.
Well, the next one is characters, and characters is kind of near and dear to me because that was kind of one of my
Your
episodes.
Yeah.
and I really liked it. I think it came along really, really good.
I learned some things from
Yeah.
that one, for sure.
Characters was fun because you don't really think about all of these characters. I think about Hardy Boys, Like Normal People, music went away. I don't think he was doing characters all throughout those 80s.
Right.
A lot
Right.
of them.
Right. And like I said, it was a learning experience because I didn't know about a lot of these characters. And
I didn't either.
and the star-studded cast that was in all of these,
Yeah.
TV movies and TV shows.
How
and
did I miss Texas Train? How did I miss that when it was on?
I missed it too, but I liked it when I watched it.
Oh yeah, it was really, really good. So that's why I'm so excited to do Characters Part 2 in season 2. I mean, I've already started on it because it's going to be good.
There's more.
There's
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
There's always more with
I think-
Shaun.
Yeah.
I think it's funny when you girls talk about General Hospital and how you felt about watching him in that character. And I thought it was funny that Doris said that she still liked hearing him sing the songs during General Hospital. that they were
Well,
different songs.
spoiler alert, I will not talk about General Hospital and Characters
Okay.
Part 2. But let's move on to Doris's favorite,
Now,
The Dark Side of Shaun. So I'm going to say that was probably your favorite
that
episode.
is my proudest moment. I loved that episode. And I know we had a little debate. Should we call it dark side? Should we call it
The gray
mystery?
side.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Serious side, I think it
The
was.
serious side.
And I stuck with dark because you have Shaun, who everybody thinks of as your teeny bopper, the do-ron-ron guy. And then you had this guy writing and producing songs about a man who is literally the devil or the devil's son or something to do with the devil. And this show is called American Gothic. Most people would say that was Shaun Cassidy,
Yeah, how did he get inspired to do that? Did he ever mention that?
his dark side.
It was his dark side.
It was his dark
It just came in
side.
his head one day.
Well, what was it that Tyler Labine said about it?
He's a genius.
Well,
It's a mad
Yeah,
a mad
genius.
genius. But remember when I was taking notes about it, I wrote genius in big
Yes.
notes or big letters on my notes. And then it was after that,
Yep,
we heard Tyler say that.
same thing.
And I'm just like, I can't imagine.
But did it come to him in a dream?
You know, like,
where did this come from?
exactly.
That's the thing.
We have to ask Shaun that one day.
We don't
Yes.
see that side.
It-
And I'm telling you guys, I read an interview or heard an interview, and he said, everybody, I have a dark side.
Oh, yeah. We've
That's
all
where
heard him
he
say that.
pulls this from. He pulls it from that side.
Yeah.
And And American Gothic to me was just freaking genius. I can't get over that show.
And I think the same way with Invasion, but I'm sure what little of I saw of American Gothic,
And I found out that he was writing American Gothic while he was on Broadway with David doing Blood Brothers. I just found that out.
Oh, there you go.
Because Shaun did not come to Chicago with the show.
Shaun did not come to Chicago.
And now I know why. He was doing American Gothic.
Oh, you're right.
You told me that earlier today, Cindy. Yes.
Yes.
He was doing American Gothic. That's why he couldn't come with the show to Chicago.
I love the Dark Side episode. I love that you know what I love the most about that episode? I brought you guys on board.
You did.
Yeah,
Nobody was really as big a fan.
Well, we've got to confess, and usually Doris has the confessions, but
yeah, that's true.
I'm going to confess. We actually recorded the Dark Side probably around episode 4, maybe episode 5. It was horrible. Downright, absolutely horrible.
Oh, the first one,
The first one. And we said, we can't. Actually, I'm going to tell you when it was. Concerts, it was episode 4. And we said, we cannot release it because all of our houses would have been egged or something.
Yeah.
You guys would have voted us off podcast
Yes.
forever if we would have aired that. And then that's when we then kind of pieced together Concerts Part 2. Because we were like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So that's how we did Concerts Part 2, kind of to save our asses.
Yeah.
and then we have a second chance here. So we re-thought about it, researched, evaluated everything, and then put together the Dark Side of Shaun and re-recorded it. And boy, we were all proud. We were doing a happy dance. And
I still got to watch the rest of American Gothic.
Oh, yeah. But I
I'm
mean,
going to see the rest of it now.
but when we did it, it turned out really, really good. I think we
I hope
did.
our listeners liked it.
Yeah, I think they
I
did.
learned something from there because I think a lot of us weren't around in that era when he was doing this
Right.
in his career. Because we had moved on from Teeny Bopper. So not all of us followed his.
I'm going to give you kudos on editing again.
Yes,
because
yes.
Dark Side has some really, American Gothic has some really dark drama kind of dialogue. And Someone's at the door is just downright
Yeah, isn't that
creepy.
creepy?
It's creepy. And
It was
you
creepy.
Put it in there. Someone's at the door. Someone's at the
Even
door.
at the beginning, it's kind of ominous.
Yes.
Eerie and ominous. Like, this episode's going to be dark.
But I think we did you proud, Doris.
Because I was so disappointed. And then I was so happy. I'm like, Dark Side really came out great.
And we learn from each episode.
Yeah, we do. We do. Yeah. But then here's another one we did. We were going to have a memorabilia party.
Oh, right.
And then that was episode 8, and it was going to be a memorabilia party. And then we're like, where's the memorabilia boxes?
We didn't have the memorabilia.
And we didn't have the memorabilia boxes. So we're fiddling around in our tote bags that we carry around. And, we had a couple of magazines. We had a
Yeah, a
book.
few
We
things.
had a necklace. We had a
I
poster.
like pillowcase.
She travels with her pillowcase.
We travel with all of these things.
I don't use it, but I travel with it.
So we thought, we could call it something. We couldn't come up with a title. And so we just started talking about whatever we pulled out of our
'Cause
bag.
we do have a lot of memorabilia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We do have a bunch to go
God.
through.
We do. And
We
again,
can go on forever about memorabilia.
oh, yeah. And
the
a spoiler alert,
magazines.
season 2. So if that gives you a hint, there will be a season 2. So just so y'all know, we will be back. We decided, and Doris did this. I mean, she came out with just some of the most fabulous social media with her promo. And then was it your TV or your magazine?
My team magazine.
Her team magazine, and just decided to call it a slumber party. And it worked out great, because we did call a boy and we giggled and we had so much fun.
Like what you do at a slumber party.
Yeah.
I listened to the rough draft of the episode that Cindy always sends
Since us, yeah.
And I went, this is nothing but a little girl get together.
Yeah.
So I said, in my head, I always put it in my head first. I said, I could design a slumber party.
Yeah, and it was, if you think about it and listen to it, and the way we're flipping through the magazine and, reading
Talking
it.
about all the stuff we got.
Yeah,
Shaun.
and the horoscopes and everything. I mean, it literally was a slumber party. And
yeah, girls, as I was listening to you guys, I heard Cindy talk about the button with Shaun on it. And I thought that's really neat that she would pick that up and choose that, because that's what I gave. Well, I gave you one too. And I think I gave one to Doris.
You gave me one too. We all have
that. And it's so weird
yes.
because I only gave the buttons to you guys, the ones from they're 1978. And it just reminded me of how when we first met, I just handed those out to you girls.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's what you did in high school. You had your friends and your friends gave you things.
Yeah.
And then you got together on the weekend and you hung out and you talked
My
about
friend would
it.
cut out pictures of Shaun in her magazine and she'd give them to me, and I would cut out her favorite and mine and give it to her.
Or Leif
We would-
Garrett or whoever.
Yeah,
Hey, listen,
we'd share things.
I wasn't parting with anything with Shaun Cassidy or, Robbie Benson or no, Scott Baio.
Guys, I have
Whoever it
to
was.
make a confession.
Oh, here we go. What radio station did you call?
Well, what would it be without a confession? So I just spent the weekend with my BFF for life, Teresa, and we went to high school together and everything. And in one of the episodes, I mentioned I made stationery. And I said I would go into the copy room and make stationery for someone. And she was kind of hurt. And now I want to just give a shout out. Teresa, I was making that stationery for you. And Scott Baio was your love of your life. And I made you your Scott Baio stationery in the copy room at work when I was supposed to be working.
Hey, now, Doris,
The dedication.
is she the one that got married? Or was this just a get together? I thought you were at a wedding.
No, it was just a little girl's weekend.
Oh, okay.
And we hung out and
good.
and she listens every week and I appreciate it. And
We appreciate it too.
Yeah, thank you. Do you still have some of that stationery?
she has hers. She says
That's what I mean.
And I don't know. When we go through memorabilia,
Oh my God. And we will bring the bins. We will have the bins. They will be here.
And Teresa gave us a shout out too. She said, "Great job, ladies. I could feel your emotions and excitement when you shared your Shaun Cassidy concert experience."
Well, thank you so much. Episode 9. I think this one is,
I love it.
We love it. We all love it. I didn't say a whole lot, but I just took it all in. It was a fabulous episode. Oh, so I'll let the two
We had a lot
you.
of fun.
it was just so much fun. Driving home today, I was talking to my friend Teresa, and she was saying, well, why would you do an episode about the Partridge Family? I said, well, David Cassidy is Shaun's brother, and Shirley Jones is his mother.
It's all
Oh,
connected.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
She
all
said
connected.
I'm like, that's the main thing. That was number one on our list to do.
I mean, Shaun wasn't in the show, but he was at the show,
His
sometimes
mom
visiting.
and his brother. I mean, and his dad.
6
Yeah.
degrees of Shaun.
Yeah.
When we open up, we say, and all things Shaun.
Yeah.
So, meaning
In our introduction,
all.
we do say that this is going to be a podcast about all things Shaun.
That's right. So he was
And-
connected to that show.
Partridge Family was a great episode to record because we got to think about our favorite episodes of the Partridge Family and our favorite songs. And we got to reminisce about sitting there on Friday nights watching the Partridge
oh my
Family.
And their albums, I love
my
them. I still
God.
love them. I've
Oh my God.
listened to them my whole life.
I did that yesterday when I was working and listened to them. And actually, my client was like, what are you listening to? Because I must have been singing a little bit. And I'm like, oh, the Partridge Family.
There's some songs that really are close to my heart.
Dane, what was your favorite? Because we didn't get to talk to you really about the Partridge Family episode. You couldn't be with us that day, but do you have a favorite Partridge Family song or episode?
Well, I just think it's really neat that David was able to share his music in the Partridge Family. And it was so catchy and it really helped him. And it really just said a lot for the family. And so I just enjoyed just seeing the new ones that I've seen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Back then I didn't even have a TV. I think I told you girls that. But then later, when I would go to my grandparents' house in Hollywood, I would get to watch Shaun during the commercials, and then his brother in the Partridge Family. And of course, I liked the guys with the long feathered hair. So both the brothers. So yes, all things Shaun, even David Cassidy. And
He was
his
so
mama.
cool. Remember Danny said with his puka shells?
Yeah.
David with his puka shells
David.
and his hair. And
Oh
he
my
was
God.
the coolest thing
And
back
how
then.
about the big surprise in the Partridge Family that Cindy threw in there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mr. Danny's in there.
Danny,
I love,
that-
yeah.
That was such a great surprise. I really couldn't believe that you found that. and
Yeah,
was
I couldn't
able to
either.
Edit that in
Oh
there.
my God.
I stumbled upon it.
You know, I can't believe none of us caught this until I listened to it for like 5 times when I said, I wonder who's going to drive the bus, Shirley or David. I should have said Keith.
Yeah.
Stayed in the character.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
have
yeah.
to-
Yeah. So,
Keith,
yeah.
or was it David?
We know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But I was like, dang it, I should have said Keith. But then when we got off the bus, I said, boy, Shirley's a good driver. But I love how, like, I don't even remember what I said in the introduction. And then Danny said, come on and get on the
You
bus.
both said, get on the bus. So we got on the bus.
Yeah, like I said, come on, get on the bus. And Danny said, get on the bus.
You know, somebody recreated that bus. I'd like to go for a ride on that bus.
Yeah. How cool is that?
That would be cool. And what about that lady at the Ohio
Oh, and that
concert?
coat. Yeah.
She wore that coat,
Yeah.
like the bus or
Partridge
something.
Family
That was cool.
coat.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have a copy
was
of that
neat.
picture. Yeah. Well, I know when I started my trivia and my Name That Tune stuff, we started at now episode 5?
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So I thought we would go back and do a little trivia.
Oh, boy.
Okay,
boy.
but wait a minute. Before you do that, we have a shout out.
Oh, yeah. We have to do our shout outs. I forgot
is
about
very
it.
important
This is-
shout out.
Well, we had 2 shout outs
Okay.
because we have to go back to Pop Culture Preservation Society.
Yes.
They gave us 2 thumbs up.
Wow.
And
I got to tell you, I love those ladies.
don't we, though?
Kristen, Michelle, and
Carolyn?
they are probably the best group of ladies I met outside of you guys recently. I just
Yeah,
love
they're our
them,
mentors.
and
Yeah,
they
our
love 'em.
mentors.
They
And
have taught us so much and supported us so much. And they feel like they are so humble. They're like, we're just people. And they feel like we are overreacting to their
They've
presence.
accomplished so much.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're super famous to us. We get
You
giddy
know.
when we're around them.
They grew too. They learned from the bottom up. And look
And-
at where they are.
Oh, they're like us. They produce, they write, they do everything
themselves.
themselves, and they're self-taught like we are. So thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Kristen's book,
Yeah,
Worldwide Crush.
Worldwide Crush.
I
mean,
have that here at home now, so
Yeah.
I get to read it. And she even
Yep.
signed it.
And
So,
who was the inspiration behind that?
Shaun Cassidy.
the first
Right.
crush.
Yes. But I tell you, our next huge shout out, this is huge because Shaun was on their podcast and I really wanted to reach out to them.
It's called Naked Lunch.
And Doris is our correspondent. And so I was like, Doris, we have to reach out. Okay, we will. A few days later, Doris. So I said, if you don't do this, I'm gonna. And I know you don't like my writing. She goes, okay, I'll do it right now. So with a little tugging, she watched the episode and she did it. And what was it? 2 days later, we got a shout out. So
Yeah, they did a post.
and a post.
So say again for our followers, who is the podcast and who are the people on the podcast?
Well, the podcast is called The Naked Lunch, and it is with David Wild and Phil Rosenthal. And I'm telling you, it popped up on my screen and my phone. I had all my gadgets with me because I was grilling. And I tell you, I think my neighborhood thought there was like a tornado drill
Yeah.
or something going on.
Somebody
with
screaming in the
the
neighborhood.
way I was screaming. And I'm like trying to call and text and everything, Cindy and Doris at the same time. And I swear they heard me in their towns. And we're getting a hold of each other. So who's going to read it? Because I don't have it in front of me.
I'm going to read it. I have it in front of me. And David Wild posted this on August 16th. And he said, a fun new Naked Lunch podcast will be released tonight. But first, Please don't miss this fantastic conversation Phil Rosenthal and I enjoyed with Shaun Cassidy. And thanks for all the great feedback from Shaun's dedicated fans like Shaun Squad Society, who've helped spread the good word about this great guy who has learned the upside of Nepo. We love you, Shaun.
We love you, Shaun.
Woo!
Now,
Great shout out.
we
Great.
are in the same sentence with Shaun Cassidy.
And if you guys don't know who David Wild is or Phil Rosenthal, you need to do some Googling because these are some big names. Big names.
Phil
Hollywood.
Rosenthal was the head writer for Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yes, he was.
And he is
Great show.
also Feed Phil. And not only Everybody Loves Raymond, I mean, his producing list, it goes on and on and on, like Shaun's. And David Wild is, if I'm not mistaken, a music critic. And he also has a book out about the Grammys.
Yes.
This day, he is the producer of the Grammys.
Oh, he is the producer of the
And
Grammys.
He did write a book.
Yes. And I mean, these two are buddies. And I've listened to every single one of their podcasts now. I mean, they recently did Wendy, I can't think of her last name, but she did Hot in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that show.
And she
And-
was so funny.
Oh my.
and
I mean, and
Her
these
name is Wendy Malick.
Malik, yes, was also on Mom. So there's your 6 degrees because
Yeah, on Invasion.
he was the sheriff
Yes. So,
and it was her boyfriend in the
Yes.
wheelchair.
yes. So you had our mom, you had the 5 ladies or whatever, and what's her name, the tall one? Christy's mom. You didn't watch Mom.
Oh, I
Okay,
did, but
you
I
gotta
can't think of
pause
her
this.
name. What I was saying was Allison, is it Jenny?
Annie?
Jenny,
Jenny.
J-A-N-N-E-Y.
Was
Jenny.
on one of their podcasts, and she was on Mom. She was Bonnie.
She played Bonnie.
And her boyfriend was the sheriff on.
Yeah, on Invasion.
Right. The
So-
boyfriend she had on Mom, she eventually married him. He was in the wheelchair, for all
Yeah.
you followers. The guy that was in the wheelchair played the sheriff on.
Invasion.
Yeah, so see, one of Dory's 6 degrees to something there. Okay, real fast, because I said we're going to do a little trivia, because I think we originally started it maybe in episode 5. So for episode 2, Janet Connell, what did she and the Shaun sisters give Shaun in Hawaii?
A shirt.
What kind of shirt?
It's their
Red.
It's the Facebook group shirt.
But
Red one.
okay, but what about it? What was so special about it?
It had
They all
the.
signed it.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, they all signed it. Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Okay, concerts. What did Cindy wear to the Alpine Valley concert to
Well,
Shaun?
I know, but I'm not going to say.
Yeah, but
She wore brown
and what else?
and flowers in her hair.
And why?
Because Shaun said he loves brown and flowers in the hair.
My
He
mom
didn't say
liked
anything
that
about
one.
it either. He just gave me an
Cindy,
autograph
did
and
you
say
know-
bye.
All right.
My mom really liked that. You talked about
Right.
that.
Okay. Another question. Who went to see Shaun with Doris at the Chicago Fest?
Her sister
And
and her brothers,
no?
nephew,
Yes. Perfect.
the whole family.
Yeah, you're right. You were right on
Yeah,
all
yeah,
of them.
Yeah, but her brothers didn't go to
Right.
the
They went to see
concert.
somebody else.
Yeah. And where was Dame's first concert?
Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah, yes. Okay.
That
So,
was fun.
Oh wait, here's another one. Where did Penny do the red carpet interview?
Ohio.
Where though in Ohio?
At
In
the,
Buffalo
at the
Wild Wings.
Buffalo
You
Wild
were
Wings
with
in
Beth.
Kent.
And who with?
Beth.
Beth Ann.
Okay. All right. So, anything else real fast? Because I got something else to add.
Oh,
No.
we love your surprises.
Okay. Well, so something else I just wanted to bring up just really, really fast. As I mentioned several times, there will be a season 2. Okay.
Yay.
And
There's so much more to talk about. We
I
just
know,
got
I
started.
know. We just got started. So, yes. But we are not going to disappear this summer or during our break. Watch our social media. And like we said, we want some interaction from you, our listeners, during season 2.
Yeah, please let us know what
Okay.
you want to hear in the future.
Yes. And there will be some teasers. Doris is really good at teasers. And
Don't forget, Shaun's got shows coming up.
oh, yep,
this
shows
fall.
coming up. He already announced his first ones. And that's the same weekend we plan on dropping our first episode for season 2.
October.
Yes. And some things that aren't going to change in season 2. I will keep doing the trivia questions.
Woo.
I'm pretty sure Doris is going to keep doing her 6 degrees to something.
And what else?
Your confessions.
Yeah, I'll find some.
Yep. And I also wanted to say she'll probably keep singing her pretty little heart out for us.
No, we won't be singing no more.
And Cindy is going to keep doing.
Keep doing what I'm doing.
No, we came up with something earlier. She's going to keep on trucking. I don't know. We came up with something.
Keep on crushing, like I always
She
say.
keeps on crushing. And Dame is going to keep doing Dame's Closet.
Digging in my closet.
Well, ladies, that was a lot of fun revisiting our first season. And I am, and I'm sure you guys are too, so looking forward to starting our second season. Amazing.
It's going to be great.
Great. So many
This was
things.
so much
Yeah,
fun,
it
season
was.
1. And season 2 is going to be awesome.
Awesome.
Can't wait
Yeah,
for that
yeah.
either.
Big things. But you know what? Now we're going to visit Dame's Closet.
Dame, what's in your closet today?
A lot of stuff. You don't want to look. Up. I'm in my Shaun section. I remember these. I've been digging. They look a little too small for me, though. They have some neat stitching. I guess they're from when I was about 10 years old because they sure wouldn't fit me now. But they do go with that satin jacket that I had, that I told you about, that I found in my closet. That was my favorite piece of clothing. So they go with this piece of clothing.
So it's
And I see Hardy Boys on it. Well, since we've been talking about reflections, this item goes really well. So I'm glad I pulled it out.
All right, Dame, I'm a bit confused. You just said that you wear it, they might be too small for you, and then you said you see a surfer. So I'm just going to guess dittos.
bell bottoms.
Yes, bell bottoms, but they are special pants.
Oh, satiny? Like Shaun
Satin?
had?
No, they have neat stitching, like I said, but they also have Shaun on them, just like
Oh.
the satin jacket.
Like blue
Pajama
jeans?
bottoms.
So it's a style of bell bottoms.
Like from when I was a
So
little
a
girl
pair of
size.
Shaun Cassidy bell bottoms.
Yes, with his picture.
There we go.
How
Ding,
many-
ding, 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 ding.
I know. Good job, girls. How many of you had a pair of
Yay.
these? Have you guys even seen a pair of these?
No. I'm so glad you have those. You're probably the only person out here who does. But I'm going to invite everybody to come back. Treasures of Dame's Closet.
We
Never
can't
know what's
wait
in
to
here.
See what's going to fall out next.
Well, thanks, Dame. And we'll be back next season for Dame's Closet. Thank you from the bottom of our teen dream hearts.
Keep on crushing.
Always believe in magic.
And have a peaceful, Shauntastic week.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. And make sure to keep in touch with us on our email.
Shaun Squad Society at gmail.com.
The Shaun Squad Society Podcast, including past, present, and future versions, and its contents are owned and controlled by the Shaun Squad Society. The views and opinions are solely those of the Shaun Squad Society Podcast. The Shaun Squad Society is written and produced and recorded at the Borden Studios. We may think we are always right, but we will get something wrong from time to time. So we assume no responsibilities or errors of submissions of content.